Welcome back to Wildcat Academy. Today we're going to be talking about how to solve logarithmic and exponential equations. Be sure to stick around to the end of the video where I explain some tips and tricks and pitfalls to avoid when solving these types of equations. Alright, so in example 1, this is a logarithmic equation where we have logarithm expressions on both sides of the equation. So what we want to do is we want to condense these on either side. So log base 2 of 3y minus 6 is equal to, we want to start by using our logarithm property to move the 4 up as an exponent onto the 3. Log base 2 of 3 to the 4th power minus log base 2 of 9. And the left-hand side is already a single logarithm, so we don't have to do anything special to it. We just keep on bringing that side down. But on the right-hand side, we want to condense this into a single logarithm. And now that we don't have any coefficients, we can rewrite this as a single logarithm using our quotient property, log base 2. 3 to the 4th power is 81, and we'll divide by 9. And then we have log base 2 term on both sides. So that means that these logarithm values must be equal. So we'll use our 1-to-1 rule and say that 3y minus 6 is going to be equal to 81 over 9, or 81 divided by 9, which is 9. Then we will simply solve a two-step equation. 3y is equal to 15. We will divide by 5, and we'll get 15 divided by 3. I'm sorry, not divided by 5, but 15 divided by 3, or 3 divided into 15 gives us 5. Now, a key thing about logarithms, we do have to check for extraneous solutions, so you'll need to plug this 5 back in to our logarithms to make sure that none of them give us negative values. And we can see that log, so we're going to check for that the solution is not extraneous. 3 times 5 minus 6 is log base 2 9, I believe. And so because that is a possible value, this logarithm value is not negative. The solution is not extraneous, and therefore our solution set is 5. Now, example 2 is different than example 1. Example 1, we were able to make use of the fact that our 1-to-1 rule, that if we have two same base logarithms, then we can set their values equal to each other to solve. On example 2, we have a value that is not inside the logarithm. So we will have to exponentiate both sides or use inverse functions to solve example 2. So the first step, just like in example 1, we want to condense our logarithms using our properties. And this will be, wrote that equal sign just a little bit too soon there. And plus, we're going to move that 2 up here as an exponent, and that will become log of 9. This is the common log, and there's no base written, so it's base 10, common log. And now we will combine the addition of two logarithm terms through multiplication of their values. So log of 9x plus 45 is equal to 3. And then what we'll have to do here is now exponentiate, which means that we'll basically do the inverse function of log base 10. So we will make both sides the exponent, which means to exponentiate the left-hand side and the right-hand side on base 10. Now the key here is to use the same base as your logarithm. So 10 to log base 10, that will cancel. Similar to the fact that if we had like x squared is equal to 4, we would take the square root of both sides because square root is the inverse function of x squared. These will cancel, and 9x plus 45 is equal to 100. Whoops, make that 1,000. 10 to the 3rd power is 1,000, of course, and we'll get 9x is equal to 955. And then we'll take 955 and divide it by 9, which does simplify down to the decimal. We'll round here, 106.1. And that 0.1 is repeating, of course. That's a couple of brief problems on how to solve logarithmic equations. All right, so let's jump into exponential equations. So in example 3 and 4, we'll be solving exponential equations. You will recognize an exponential equation because the variable will be in the exponent of the problem. So we'll have an exponent term here. You can see the variable is up there in the indice or the exponent. Example 3 will be using the common base method. So we will rewrite 36 and 216 as base 6. So we'll rewrite that as 6 squared to the x minus 3, and we'll rewrite 216 as 6 to the third power. So once we have that done, we can go ahead and expand or multiply the two exponents here and get 2x minus 6 and 6 to the third power. And similarly to the one-to-one rule for logarithms, we'll use the one-to-one rule for exponent as well. But if you have a base to the x value and base to the y value, and those values are equal, those two terms are equal, that means that the exponents must be equal. So we'll make use of that rule and say that 2x minus 6 is equal to 3. We'll add 6 to both sides, and 2x is equal to 9, and then x is equal to 9 halves, or 4.5. Example 4, you start seeing we have a coefficient on our exponent term. We have a constant added to our exponent term. You can see that 64, it's not really a way for us to rewrite that in terms of base 5. So we know that we're going to have to use a different method here. So we're going to use the inverse function of exponential functions, which are logarithms. We will now, we want to isolate this term here, that 5 to the 2n minus 7. So think about this as just a two-step equation to isolate this term right here. We're going to subtract 20. We'll divide by 4. So let's go ahead and do those two steps. 4 times 5 to the 2n minus 7. We will subtract 20 on both sides and get 44 on the right-hand side. And then we'll want to divide by 4. And we'll get 5 to the 2n minus 7 is equal to 11. 44 divided by 4 gives us that 11 there. And then we have that exponent term is equal to 11. So just like we were thinking in example 2, where we had to exponentiate both sides, we need to cancel the base 5. Well, in order to do that, we're going to take the logarithm of that base, log base 5 of 2n minus 7. And that's log base 5 of 11. And then this exponent, because you can think about this just canceling, just being left with the exponent, but we can also just move that exponent out front, and it would be 2n minus 7 times 1, because log base 5 of 5 is 1. We will just be left with the 2n minus 7, using inverse functions here. Those cancel, and then log base 5 of 11. That ends up being a decimal value. And this is where you can do the rest of it in the calculator, or you may want to work it out and just type it in all at once. Is what I recommend, is just be careful with your parentheses there. So we will add 7, divide by 2, get that other two-step equation there to solve. All right, so when we type this into the calculator, this ends up evaluating to 4.2450. All right, so now it's time for the tips and tricks. Okay, for the tips for exponential equations, we want to condense exponent terms. And one of the first things we want to look for are things like 3 to the x times 3 to the x plus 1. We want to add those exponential exponents together and get 2x plus 1 so that we can better handle situations like that. Then, if we want to check for common bases so that we can use the common base rule. So we can rewrite things like 5 to the x is equal to 125. We can write the right-hand side as 5 to the third power and do something simple and avoid the use of the calculator. And then the third tip there is we want to isolate the exponential term after we've kind of checked these first two things off the list. So we want to get the problem in some form like 5 to the x is equal to 42, so that we can take the log of both sides and cancel this base. So we need to get that term by itself so that then we can cancel the base and break the x out of the exponent and get it in so we can solve for it. And that leads us to step 4, which is take the log of both sides. And the key there is always use the same base. So log base 5, it's a very common mistake is to use just log base 10 or some other base. And you can use a different base, but I would not. I think with modern calculators, I think using the same base makes the problem simpler. So then you just solve for x. Lots of times just a two-step equation. It might be a quadratic. You just never know. More complicated ones can be, you have quadratic exponents. But you want to solve for x. You might end up with something like 2x plus 1 is equal to log base 5 of 42. Okay, wouldn't be this problem right here, but if that exponent had been 2x plus 1, that would have been the next step. And then it's the two-step equation. You're going to subtract 1, divide by 2. And once you get that answer, you have to make sure that you haven't taken the logarithm of a negative value. If you have done something like that, then the answer ends up being extraneous. So the answer would be no solution. So you have to check for those and make sure that that didn't happen when you took the logarithm, because logarithms can only be positive. All right, so tips for logarithmic equations, very similar to our tips for exponential equations. You'll notice that we're condensing log terms as opposed to condensing exponential terms. And then you're going to use the one-to-one rule if possible. If we have like a log x is equal to log y, similar to finding the checking for the common bases, we're using the b to the x is equal to b to the y. Then we're going to isolate the long term. So we want log base 5 of x is equal to 4. And then we want that logarithm value so we can cancel the logarithm and solve for x. And then we'll exponentiate both sides. And that word is always confusing to people. So log base 5 of x is equal to, let's use 4, our same example we were using. And then we just want to make both sides the exponent of this base 5. And that's just using the inverse function to cancel that log base 5. And then we end up with something really simple like x is equal to 5 to the 4th power. Right? If this happens to be a more complex logarithm value, you might have to do some solving, like we were doing a second ago, or if it was 2x plus 1, we would have to two-step equation that. Could be quadratic, lots of different function types can be inside of that logarithm to make it more complex to solve. And again, you have to check for extraneous solutions. So if we have like log base 7 of 4n minus 7 is equal to log base 7 of negative 3n. And we solve this out and we get, 4n minus 7 is equal to negative 3n. And you end up with n is equal to 1, right? Once we solve that out, when we plug that 1 back in, you can see that on the right-hand side, log base 7 of negative 3 times 1 is log base 7 of negative 3. That's not a possible solution. Logarithm values cannot be negative. So the answer ends up being no solution. So make sure you're checking for those extraneous solutions. When you plug the values back in, we cannot have negative logarithm values. This is a great example of that. That winds up our tips for exponential and logarithmic equations. If you have found this video helpful, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel so you can be notified of the next video from Wildcat Academy. And leave a comment down below if you have any questions over how to solve logarithmic and exponential equations.